Hope everyone's been well. Welcome back. It's Miles. Let's just get into this thing. Now, if you hear a fan in the background, it's because there's a fan going in the background because I managed to have the hottest room in the house. I get no AC during the summer. I get no heat during the winter. It's a blast. It's the best. I can't stress enough how much I love it. So, a lot of you have been asking me for a little while about doing some more discussion regarding some techniques and sounds that are being produced by Tom Morello when he's playing with Rage Against the Machine, Audio Slave, Street Sweeper, Social Club, whatever. And today is going to be the first of a series of videos discussing some of the guitar techniques and tones that are found on the Rage Against the Machine album, Battle of Los Angeles. Out of all of Rage Against the Machine's records, it's probably the most produced of them all, which can be a little misleading when you're trying to match the tones of the guitar in a real life situation. And we're going to discuss some of that stuff today, starting with the song Voice of the Voiceless. Now, this song, people have put out videos on it before, but they haven't really discussed how to play it. They're just kind of like showing that the whammy pedal is being used. And today we're going to get a little bit more involved with it, explain more about why perhaps they'd never played this song live, or at least it wasn't a regular song in their set. And yeah, so without further ado, let's just get on into it. One of the things you're absolutely going to need for this song is a guitar. A guitar, standard tuning is definitely going to be helpful. It doesn't have to be a Telecaster. I know that with some Rage songs, it's specific of the guitar that's being used for that song in order to be able to play that song. But in this case, you can get by with just any 6-string guitar. Doesn't need to have 2 volume knobs or anything like that. In addition to that, you're going to need a Digitech whammy pedal. Not necessarily a pitch changing pedal of any brand, but specifically this one. And we'll get into why, and we'll get into some other details around that. And whatever distortion that you have should be, it should be useful. It's not specific for the song. What pickups you're using isn't necessarily specific either. But yeah, so let's just get into it. All right, here we go. So I'm down here on the ground now because that's where I keep all my emotions and my self-esteem. So I'm now down here because I want to show you guys what exactly is going on for the intro and the verse specifically of this song. Now, I previously said that you just need a guitar, standard tuning, but in reality, your guitar needs to be in drop D. If you don't know what drop D is, well, interesting that you're here. So the low E string is going to be matching the D string. That's all that means. You want to tune it down so that they're the same note, so that when you play power chords, all you have to do is use one finger to cover both low E and A, rather than doing the usual formation of a power chord, because that note is moved up. So, now that's covered. You're going to need a whammy pedal, specifically a whammy. Like I said before, any pitch shifting pedal is good in most cases, but for this one specifically, you're going to want to have the traditional style whammy pedal with the knob that turns through the different harmony section and octave selections that you have available to you. So now that we got that covered, let's go through what's happening with the actual playing of the song. I had a pick. I found it. So I'm going to try to keep my playing and my talking separate because this amp is super duper loud and the camera might be a little shaky at times, in which case, my bad. This floor is susceptible to any vibration. But anyway, in terms of how you're going to be actually playing the intro in the song, it's easier to play it than you would probably think. What you're doing on the guitar is you're simply playing the G string, open. in terms of giving that a note value, in the context of the song, I'd say it's about a whole note. And you're just keeping a fairly consistent plucking of that string. And if you can do that fairly consistently with just your picking hand, that's great. Because in conjunction with that, you're going to be using the whammy pedal. Not in the way of traditional whammying, where you would step on the on-off button and then move up and down with your foot. But in fact, you're going to be going through the selections that are available on the menu for the whammy pedal while you're playing that open G. And you might be out there saying, that's ridiculous. Why would you do that? And the answer, it's pretty simple as soon as you hear it, because it's just fantastic. It's almost like an electric bagpipe. And, you know, like I said before, the issue that I have with this particular rendition of the whammy pedal is that the transition from one setting to another is very, very smooth. And it's a little awkward and makes it difficult to stay and pick which interval you're landing on. Because it just goes very fluently. Which, I mean, if you're trying to do something like that, I guess that's helpful. But I imagine that's not the sound you're going for. So that's what's going on for the verse and for the intro of the song. Now, probably why you never see any live videos of Rage playing this song, it's because it's hard to transition between that and then going to what would be the main riff of the song, which we're going to go over right now. Now, like I said, the camera might shake a little bit, so just bear with me. I'll do another view of me playing the actual parts on the song, or I'll record it quiet, whatever, figure it out. So, if you're using a Telecaster, definitely make sure that you're using the neck pickup. That's pretty much across the board on any guitar that's being played in a Rage song. More often than not, it's going to be focused in on the neck pickup, so you get that real slappy sound from the strings. It's got that sort of like R&B funk tonality to it. So definitely gravitate towards the neck pickup in that case. Now, as for the actual notes that are being played, you have the first little rundown of notes when the riff comes into play, where it's... And that's just going from the 5th fret of the A string, going from the 5th fret to the 3rd fret, then back. So that's easy enough, just D, C, D. And then, it's the 3rd fret of the A string to the open A string. So it's going to be C, A, C. And then when you get down to the low E string, which remember is going to be tuned down to D, you're playing G and F. So altogether you have... And then... So that's F, D, back to F, and then G. It's also important to note that in terms of how you pluck the strings with your pick, you want to have more of a strumming quality to how you go about plucking the individual strings. There's videos out there basically discussing this sort of John Frusciante approach to playing single notes that's derivative of R&B funk stuff. So if you can incorporate that into your playing of this riff, it'll give you the most authentic sounding rendition of it. So, essentially what we have overall are the two main components of this song. There's not a lot of stuff that make this song what it is. It's that main riff, and then you're kind of going around in different patterns across the selection of harmonies and octaves on the whammy pedal. And we could get into the exact pattern that's being played in the verses, but I don't know how much purpose that'll really serve for you. But I want to give you a better look at what exactly is going on. So let's do that. Now, be sure that when you're going to play this song, the first interval you're starting on with your whammy pedal is going to be a fifth above your dry signal. You want to make sure the foot pedal is down. And yeah, from there you can kind of do whatever you'd like. Now, it's also important to note that while you're scanning through, as you're playing the verse and the intro in the song, what's occasionally happening is a quick blip over to the octave side. And it can be a little disorienting when you're trying to get back to individual intervals on this side. But, if you get the hang of it, it makes a world of difference in terms of its authenticity to the song. Now that octave jump happens twice at the very end of the song, and then we end the very end of the song back on our fifth interval on the harmony side of the whammy pedal. So and then we go into New Millennium Homes. So for the verses and for the last verse, it's a lot of kind of cycling back and forth, up and down between these intervals over here. That allows for the actual melody to be made. And like I said, with a little noodling around with it, you can get something close to exact when it comes to switching through the intervals. Now, I meant to mention it before, but if you're trying to get the most authentic sound you possibly can in the live setting without having to like tweak all of your settings on your amp, or having to go out and get like an EQ pedal just for like specific things, which might not be the worst idea. But if you want to find a way to kind of like give yourself that white noise sound quality to your notes that is similar to what's on the studio version of the song, if you use a wah pedal and keep the toe forward on the pedal itself, that'll give you a very bright sound. Where I'm sitting at the moment with the amp right over here, it sounds just great. But yeah, so that'll help in terms of just increasing the sort of brightness quality of the intro portion of the song, at least. You don't want to use it for the main riff in the song because that's where the power is. You don't want to suck out all the low end for that. So, let's see here. Now, if we look back at that and we take sort of an account of what's going on in terms of what pedals are on for that, you're playing the open G string while turning the knob on the whammy pedal. And if you're using a wah pedal to give yourself some more of a bright tone, you're going to be turning that off before you go into the main riff of the song. Now, if you don't have some sort of controller hooked up to your pedals where you can set that as a preset, that's going to be a lot of tap dancing. So what could be the case is that Tom Morello found that this song was too hard to play in a live setting, just because going from that to that would be a bit of a headache. But that's just what I think. Alright guys, well I'm going to leave it at that for today. I didn't want to make this video super long because it's really not that elaborate of a song. There's really only 2 parts on the guitar. Now there's going to be more elaborate stuff further down the road, and we're going to get to that. And you're not going to want to miss it, so make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you hit the bell so that you know when I upload a new video. Hit like, and if you like the video, let me know in the comments. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments. If there's any songs that you would like me to do first from this album, let me know. If there's anything that you're really curious about, I'd love to talk about it with you guys. Alright? But other than that, I'm going to leave it at that for now, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace.